What's up, Angel? You're the first one in the stream. What is up? How's it going? You're the first one. What is up? What's up, Cat Attack? How we doing? Grayson, you subscribed. What's up? So, you guys know the drill. All you gotta do is let me know that you subscribed and let me know your name. But, Angel, you were the first one in here. I appreciate you so much, Angel. Let's get yours going real quick. Angel. All right. All right, Mr. Angel. And then Grayson, you'll be next. All right, here we go. All right, Grayson, let's get you added to the line. What's up, Sophia Sunshine? All right, Grayson. All right, Angel, let's take a look. What's up, Robert? How you doing? There you go, Angel. Awesome, Grayson. Let's go with yours. All right, Mr. Grayson. All right, let's go. Let's go a little bit of blue with some yellow for Grayson. Here we go. Here we go. What's up, Nushi? How you doing? All right, let's get some more people on the line. Here we go. Sophia Sunshine. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, Sophia Sunshine will be up next. All right, Mr. Grace, thank you so much for being subscribed. Here you... Oh, doesn't want to come off. There we go. There you go. I hope you enjoy. Awesome, Grayson. All right, next up is Sophia Sunshine. All right, let's go. Let's do pink for this one. Actually, let's do orange and yellow. I like that better. For Sophia Sunshine. All right, we'll throw a little red in there. Make that a sunset. Here we go. Nushi. All right, let me get Nushi added to the list. All right, Nushi, I got you. Here we go. Remember, you got to be subscribed to get spin art. So you got to let me know your name, and then if you're subscribed, that's what you got to let me know. All right, Sophia Sunshine, take your screenshot. 3, 2, 1. All right, there we go. There we go. Awesome, Nushi, you're up next. All right, here we go. Guys, remember, all you got to do is be subscribed and let me know your name, and then you have a chance for spin art. Now, if you don't want to wait in line, and you want to skip the line, once we have a line, all you got to do is send a large gift or a super chat, but we don't have a line right now. But if you want to be guaranteed a spot, go ahead and do that. All right, Christian, let me get you added to the line. You are going to be the next person in line, Christian. You're subscribed. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let me get you added as well. All right, Stephanie, you are added in line. All right, Emma, you're subscribed. Thank you so much, Emma. All right, EMMA. All right, I got you 3 added to the line. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at this one, guys. Oh my gosh. There we go. Nushi. There you go. I hope you enjoy. Awesome. All right, next up is going to be a Christian with a K. All right, Christian. All right, here we go. Yo, yo, yo. Here we go. All right, let's go yellow and blue. All right, here we go. Of course, Nushi, happy to do it. All right, guys, let me know that you're subscribed. So if you don't let me know you're subscribed and let me know your name, I will not do it. All right, here we go. Now, if you don't want to wait in line, if you want to skip the line, send a large gift or a super chat. All right, here we go. Christian, there you go. Awesome, next up is going to be Stephanie. Let's go, Stephanie. Here we go, here we go. All right, Stephanie, let's go with some red with some blue. And let's add a little bit of black in the middle. There we go. All right, here we go. Alessandro, let's get you added to the list. All right. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I appreciate you. We got you added to the list. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you, Alessandro, for letting me know you're subscribed. All right, Stephanie. There you go. There you go. Awesome. All right, next up is going to be Emma. Gabriella, thank you so much for subscribing. Let me get you added to the line. All right, Gabriella, thank you so much. I have added you to the line. Here we go. You can grab some paper from here real quick. All right, guys, let's get some paint on this one. You subscribe. Thank you, Charlie, for subscribing. Let me get you added to the line as well. Thank you so much, Charlie. All right, Charlie, you've been added. Guys, remember, all you got to do is be subscribed. Let me know your name, and then if you're subscribed, all you got to do. All right, Emma, there you are. All right, here we go, here we go. Alessandro, let's get yours going. Napoli. All right. Usually we only do it for large gifts, but I'll just put your name in the line, though. All right, Ranger, what is up? How you doing? Welcome. All right, here we go, here we go. Jackson, you subscribed. All right, Jackson, let me get you added to the line. Thank you so much, Jackson, for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, Alessandro, there you go, my friend. There you go. All right, Gabriella, here we go. Awesome. Let's do a little bit of yellow with some orange for Gabriella. All right, here we go, here we go. Awesome, next up is going to be Charlie. All right, here we go. All right, Gabriella, there you are. Guys, remember to like the stream, subscribe, make sure we're doing both. Good to have all you guys in here. All right, here we go, here we go. Let's do some black with some yellow. All right, here we go, here we go. I usually don't do it for small gifts, and I usually don't add to lines for small gifts, but Tiger Rover. Or is it Tiger? Tiger, I'm going to do one that says Tiger. All right, I'm going to be nice on this one and just do one. All right, here we go. We're just going to do one for a small gift. So, I will make an exception on this one. I got you, Tiger. All right, Charlie, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Nathalie, let's get it going. All right, here we go. Here we go. Go a little bit of yellow with some blue. And let's throw in a little bit of, you know what, let's throw some red in there. Here we go, here we go. The yellow ball, I don't know, what are you talking about? All right, here we go, here we go. Awesome. All right, Nathalie, there you go. All right, Jackson's going to be up next. Here we go, here we go. All right, let's go red and yellow. All right, there we go, there we go. You subscribe. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much for subscribing. Let me get you added real quick. All right, Mary, you've been added. Yellow ball. I have no clue what yellow ball is. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I'm lost on that one. Jackson, there you go. All right, Tiger. Here we go. Mr. Tiger. We're going to do the orange because that tiger's orange. All right, here we go. Tiger. All right, with a little bit of white. No, we're not going to do white. It doesn't want to come out with the black. Here we go. We got to figure out this white one. All right, here we go. Yo, 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 here we go. All right, Tiger. There you go. There you go. All right, next up is going to be Mary. All right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, it should be better now. Here we go. I was not on Wi-Fi, so I think that's what made it a little laggy. So, Mary, let's get yours going right now. All right, Mary, let's get red. And let's get some black going for Mary. Here we go, here we go. Awesome, there we go. All right, here we go, Mary. All right, there you go, Mary. Awesome, who's going to be up next? Let's see. All right, here we go, here we go. Lacey, are you subscribed? If you're subscribed, I got you. I know Sarah is subscribed, so I'm going to do Sarah's name real quick. All right, here we go, here we go. Awesome, let's do a little bit of yellow with some blue. Here we go, Sarah. You subscribed. Your name is Alana. All right, I got you. Where'd your name go? Ah, here we go. Now I can spell it. There we go. All right, Sarah. There you go. There you go. Alana. There we go. All right, Lacey, I got you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Because you subscribed, now you get a chance for your name, and I'll do it for you. I got you. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. You subscribed, Joey. All right, Mr. Joey, I got you added to the line. Here we go. Here we go. Monica, you subscribed. Guys, if you don't want to wait in line, if you want to skip the line, all you got to do is send a large gift or a super chat. Remember, small gifts do not skip, but large gifts do. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Lana, there you go. There you go. Next up is Lacey. Happy birthday to Lacey. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's try zigzag. Someone said try zigzag. Let's try it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what's better. That's all right. Here we go. Here we go. Your name is Milana. All right, I got you, Milana. Let's get you added to the list. All right, I got you added right now. You also subscribe, Mango. All right, what's up, Clay Attack in the chat? I have not seen you in a minute. Welcome back, Clay Attack in the chat. Let's get Clay added to the list. Clay's a great subscriber. All right, guys, here we go. Let's take a look at this one. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here you go, Lacey. There you are. There you are. Awesome. Next up is going to be Joey. All right, here we go, Joey. Let's get that going. Let's get a little bit of red and black for Joey. All right, here we go. Here we go, Joey. Let's go. All right, Clay Attack is glad to be back. All right, here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Next up is going to be Monica. All right, here you go, Mr. Joey. There you go. There you go. Remember, if you want yours done, to make sure that you are subscribed. So, here we go. Awesome. Let's do a red and blue for this one. Next up is going to be Milana. All right, here we go. Here we go. You're subscribed. Your name's Maverick. Thank you so much for being subscribed, Maverick. Let me get you added in here. Thank you so much, Maverick. All right. Random colors for Clay. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Guys, remember, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. All right, Cairo, I got you. All right, I got you added to the line. Here we go. Here we go. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, my goodness. Monica. There you go. Awesome. Next up is going to be Milana. Let's go, Milana. All right, Milana, for you, we're going to go a little bit of green and a little bit of white with a little bit of blue. All right, we're going to change this one up a little bit for Milana. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Milana, let's take a look at your work. Here we go. Here we go. Milana. All right, Mango. Let's get yours going right now. Mango, we have to do orange. That's a mango. All right, here we go. Awesome, Mango. Mango, let's go. All right, Mango, we're going to get that one going. Let me go in the chat. Let's see, guys. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you're subscribing. All right, here we go. Pedro, you got to let me know if you're subscribed. All right, here we go. Aaron, you got to let me know if you're subscribed as well. All right, Mango. There you go. There you go. All right, Otto and Violet. All right, let me write that. Otto and Violet. All right, I got you guys added to the line. So, Otto and Violet, stay tuned. You are in line. We got like 3 people ahead of you, and then it'll be you guys. So, got you. All right, here we go. Awesome. Clay Attack in the chat. I got yours going right now. All right. Shams, let me know if you're subscribed, and I got you. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Clay Attack in the chat. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Here we go. Who likes Big Bro Teo's goat video? Thank you, Ranger. I like that one. Did you like that one? I thought it was a fun one. We'll have to do more goat ones. All right, here we go. Awesome. Here we go. All right, let's go. Emmett. All right, I got Emmett added. Here we go. Hey, Rin, I got you. I got you added to the list as well. Here we go. All right, you subscribed. All right, thank you, Mark, for subscribing. I appreciate it, Mark. All right, here we go. Here we go. You're subscribed. Thank you so much, Jada. All right, you've been added to the list as well. All right, Jada. All right, Maverick. That one turned out pretty cool. I hope you enjoy it. There you go. Awesome. Next up is going to be Cairo. All right, Cairo. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome, guys. So make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Keep it coming, guys. If you want to skip the line, all you got to do is send a large gift or a super chat. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this one. See ya, Clay. Thanks for coming, my guy. All right, there you go. I hope you enjoyed, Cairo. All right, next up is going to be Otto and Violet. All right, here we go. Let's do a little bit of purple with some red on the outside, and we'll throw a little bit of yellow for Otto and Violet. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Otto and Violet. Here we go. I hope you enjoy. All right, there you go. Take your screenshot. There you go. Awesome. Next up is going to be Emmett. All right, we're going to do a little bit of blue and white for this one. Here we go. All right, Clay, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Here we go. All right, let's do a red and white. Let's go. Let's go. You're subscribed. MEHDI. All right, let me get you added to the list. All right, thank you so much for being subscribed. I got you added to the list. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Kieran, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. All right, Clay, thanks for coming. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Clay. Good to see you. All right, Emmett, there you go. All right, Aaron, let's go. All right, we're gonna do green and yellow for Aaron. Here we go. A little bit of green with some yellow. All right, let's go, Aaron. All right, you subscribe. Your name's Harold. All right, thank you so much, Harold. I used to know a guy named Harold. He's a pretty cool guy. All right, Harold. All right, next up is Mark, M-A-R-K. Here we go. Hey, Jessica, how you doing? You gotta ask me when we got less people on the stream. Come at the very beginning. All right, Mark, let's go. I just gotta verify it's you, Jessica. So come at the beginning of the stream next time when there's like not a lot of people, and I got you. We'll talk about it. So if you're the real Jessica, you'll be mod. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Let's take a look. There you go, Mark. There you go, M-A-R-K. Awesome. Next up is gonna be Jada. J-E-I-D-A. Jada. All right, here we go. Here we go. Mark, you forgot? Well, I got you, Mark. So don't worry. Your name's Noah. All right, Noah, N-O-A-H, Noah. He knows everything. I like it, Mr. Noah. Here we go, here we go. Awesome. Guys, remember, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. So only subscribers are getting this, so you gotta let me know your name and if you're subscribed. All right, there you go. Awesome. Here we go, here we go. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, I like that one. That one's gonna be cool. I can already feel that one coming pretty cool. All right, Kieran, thank you so much for being subscribed. I got you at it right now. Thank you so much for being subscribed. All right, here we go. What's up, Jessica? All right, you're subscribed. Your name is, please, Mike. All right, Mike, I got you. M-I-K-E. All right, Mr. Mike, you've been added to the list. Here we go, Mr. Mike. All right, Harold, you're coming up next. All right, there you go. I hope you enjoy. Awesome, Mr. Harold. Let's go. H-A-R-O-L-D, Harold. All right, we're going to do a little bit of blue with some orange for I got Harold. All right, let's get that one spinning. Let me go get another subscriber from the list. All right, here we go. Here we go. John, you got to let me know if you're subscribed. Pedro. All right, Hallie subscribed. All right, I got you, Hallie. Thank you so much for being subscribed. I got you added to the list. Thank you. All you got to let me know is your name and if you're subscribed. All right, here we go. Harold, there you are, my guy. All right, next up is going to be Noah. All right, Mr. Noah, here we go. All right, here we go, here we go. Red and blue. Let's get it going. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, next up is going to be Karen. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, Shams, you actually subscribed. Thank you, Shams. You didn't let me know if you subscribed before. Let me get your name added to the list, Shams. All right, I got you. Kieran, you're up next. Let's go. All right, here we go. Purple. And white. There we go. Awesome. We got Shams coming up. Shams is on the list. Do not worry. I got you. I got you. All right, there you go. I hope you enjoy. Awesome. Next up is going to be Mike. Mike attack in the chat. All right, Mr. Mike. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're going to do a little bit of blue with some white and a dabble of red from Mr. Mike. All right, Mike. Here we go. Here we go. We got shams coming up. Do not worry, guys. I got you, Ranger. Don't worry. Thank you for the happy birthday wish. I appreciate it. All right, my birthday was last week. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, Hallie, let's go. Next up after Hallie will be a shams. So let's go. Let's go. All right, let's do a little bit of blue with some red. Here we go. All right. Jessica, I'm not sure. Maybe put it in the community or comment the... Yeah, put it in the community. I don't know if I saw it. I replied to all the ones that I saw. All right, here we go. You guys let me know if you're subscribed. You can't just let me know your name. I'm only doing subscribers. All right, Hallie, there you are. There you are. Shams, you're coming up next. Let's go. Awesome. All right, Mr. Shams. Let's get a little bit of blue with some red and white. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, Pedro, John, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. All right, we're gonna do one for Jessica. All right. Ranger, what do you want on yours? Let me know. Let me know. I got you. You sent a gift. What do you want on yours? I got you, Mr. Ranger. There you go, Shams. All right, Jessica, here we go. All right, Ranger, what do you want on yours? You sent a large gift, so you get your own spin art. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome. All right, let's get this one spinning. Let's get some more people in here. Eva, you're subscribed. All right, let's get you added on here. Here we go. Here we go. All right. If I don't hear back from Range what he wants, I'm going to just write Ranger Danger. So, let's see. All right, I'm going to write Ranger Danger, and if he says something else, we'll change it. All right, Ranger Danger. All right. Here we go. Oh, no. There you go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome, Mr. Ranger Danger. Let's get yours spinning right now. All right. I don't have a goat emoji to put on it, but I can write goat on one. All right. Here we go. All right, guys, keep it going. All right, here we go. All right, here you go. Ranger Danger. There you go. Awesome. All right, let's do goat for Ranger. Do I have any social media besides YouTube? Yes, I got a TikTok. All right, here we go. Goat. All right, here we go. Mr. Ranger, thank you so much for donating. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to do Nina. All right, Nina, thank you so much for being subscribed. I got you on one as well. All right, here we go. Here we go. Nina, subscribed. Your name's Carl. You're subscribed. Thank you so much, Carl, for being subscribed. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, go. There you go. Awesome. All right, next up is going to be Eva. Let's go, Eva. You're leaving the live stream. No, we're going to miss you. All right, well, have a great night. I hope you have a great night. All right, we will see you later. I'll see you next time. All right, next up will be Nina and then Carl. You don't have, I have Instagram, but I have not posted on it. It's Big Bro Teo. So there's like no followers on it right now. It's brand new. But you can follow it if you like. There's literally nothing on it right now. All right, Eva, there you go. All right, Nina, let's go, Nina. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, let's do a little bit of red with some yellow for Nina. All right, here we go, here we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Watch the goat video. Here we go, here we go. All right. Let's go, Nina. All right, there we go. Awesome. All right, next up is going to be Carl. All right, let me get some more names because I don't have any people in the line right now, so I got to add to my line. Here we go. All right, guys, let me know your name and let me know if you're subscribed. All right, here we go. All right, I'm just going to pick a couple subscribers real quick. Aaron. All right, here we go. Let's get this one going for Carl. All right, Carl. All right, blue and red. All right, Aaron. Here we go. Here we go. Do I have a profile? Not yet on there. Casey, I got you. Jessica, I still gotta like fill it out and everything, but the count's made. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Carl, there you go. Awesome, Aaron. Let's go. All right, here we go. Jessica, you found it. I'm glad you did. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Casey, you're going to be up next. All right. Let me go and look through quick. Who else do we want to add on here? Here we go. All right. Let me know your name and let me know if you're subscribed. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Casey, you're going to be up next. Let's go. All right, here we go, here we go. Rudy, let me know if you're subscribed and I will get you added. Here we go. All right, A-A-L-I-Y-A-H, Aaliyah, I got you added to the line. All right, Jaden, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. Here we go. Kaden, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. All right, Rudy, let me get you added. Thank you so much for being subscribed, Mr. Rudy. All right, here we go. Awesome. Casey, there you go, there you go. Mr. Sean, you're subscribed. I got you. And Jaden. So, Sean and Jaden will be added right now. All right, Sean and Jaden. All right, you guys have both been added to the list. All right, here we go, here we go. All right, here we go. Oh, I didn't even add paint to this one. What are we doing? All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Tommy is 100% correct. I'm not sure what Tommy's correct about. What are you talking about? I'm not sure. Who's Tommy? All right, Aaliyah. There you go. All right, Rudy. Let's go, Mr. Rudy. All right. Oh, Mrs. Rudy. My bad. Miss Rudy. I apologize. All right, let's go, Miss Rudy. All right. Ava, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. All right. Caesar, you gotta let me know if you're subscribed. We're only doing subscribers. Remember to like and subscribe. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. All right, here we go. You're subscribed, Ava, A-B-A, Ava. All right, Mrs. Ava, Miss Ava, thank you so much. All right, there you go. Sean, let's go, Sean. All right, here we go, here we go. Caden, all right, Caden, thank you so much for being subscribed. I'll get you added to our line, Mr. Caden. All right, here we go. All right, Caden, I got you. All right, Mackenzie. All right. How do I spell that? There we go. All right, Mackenzie, I got you added as well. Here we go. You got a question for me? What's your question? I'm all ears, Jose. Let's hear it. All right, Sean, there you go. All right, Jaden, let's get yours going, Mr. Jaden. Or Mrs. Jaden. I don't know. But Jaden, anyways, we're going to get yours going. Here we go. I need to add you back. Jessica's over here saying, on what? All right, here we go. Sazzy, welcome, Sazzy. There you go, Jaden. Sazzy's in the chat. Welcome, Sazzy. How you doing, Sazzy? All right, here we go. All right, here we go, here we go. Next up is going to be a Caden. Let's go, let's go. Do I have more colors? Yeah, we got blue, red, purple, orange, green, black, and yellow. So, we got some more colors. All right, Ava, there you go. Awesome, next up is going to be Caden. Let's go, Caden. All right. All right, here we go, Caden. Alright, we'll do a little bit of green. Maybe we should show some more of the colors if we can a little bit. Alright, with some red. And we'll add some purple in there. Alright, here we go. Alright. Next up is going to be Mackenzie. Alright, Mackenzie. Alright, guys. I did Aaliyah. Don't worry. Aaliyah has been done already. Alright, here we go. Caden. There you go. Awesome. Mackenzie, you're up next. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's go. Jessica. Sassy. Alright, here we go. Here we go. I don't even have pink in that one either. Oh my gosh. Alright, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it spinning. Alright, here we go. Next up will be Jessica and then Sassy. Alright, here we go. Mackenzie, there you are. Alright, guys, here we go. Guys, remember to like and subscribe. Great to have every single one of you in here. Remember to like and subscribe. Alright, guys. Alright, Jessica, there you go. Alright, I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to do Peyton. So, Peyton will be the last one. So, if someone sends a super chat or a large gift, I will do theirs. But Peyton will be the last one. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Awesome. Sassy, there you go, there you go. Alright, Peyton, here we go. Blue and pink. Alright. Alright, guys, this is the last one, so we are going to be done. Thank you so much all for coming on here. Alright, Peyton, there you go. Alright, super chats and large gifts do not get anything at this point. Here we go, here we go. Thank you guys all for coming on here. I appreciate it. I'm going to clean up, so here we go. Before I'm done cleaning up, if someone sends a large gift or a super chat, I will do one for them. So, I will let them know. I will tell them when I'm done for that. So, I want to personally thank Ranger today for all his hard work and contribution in the chat. Thank you so much. Also, you sent me a gift today as well, so I appreciate it, Mr. Ranger. Thank you so much for it. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the hard work, and I appreciate the gift. So thank you. What are you guys doing this weekend? Anything fun? What's going on? Nothing fun? Nobody's in the chat? What's fun this weekend? What's going on? What's exciting? No one's doing anything fun this weekend? Let's hear it. Bowling? Paul's going bowling. All right, Paul, that's going to be a fun weekend. I like bowling. We're going to New York City tomorrow. That is so fun. Have fun in New York City. You're going fishing. That is fun. Fishing's always fun. Well, enjoy it. You're going to work on your animation. I love it. Alright guys, I'm done cleaning. Well, I'm like in the midst of cleaning. So, large gifts and super chats no longer get anything. I just want to let you guys know that. Large gifts and super chats no longer get you anything. Dinner time, Range said. Burrito. Burrito sounds good though. You're going to go cheer? That's so fun. Enjoy. What else are you guys doing this weekend? You'll try not to miss another live stream. What's up? That's alright. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Welcome, gamer. Barbecue. That's fun. Alright. What's up, Rachel? How you doing? Guys, Rachel's in the stream. Rachel, we just finished spin art. We're cleaning up. But everyone, say hi to Rachel. I'm doing well. Josh, I'm curious, what made you change your username from gamer? Clean away, says Range. All right, Mr. Ranger. You're doing iFly. That's so fun. You been to iFly before? I've done it once. It's actually pretty cool. I always eat burritos. That's actually very true. I love burritos, man. They're so good. Unk alert. I got an unk alert just now. Oh my goodness. Call me Unk. That's crazy. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, you named it after your other channel. That makes sense. Gotta go with the OG though. Josh. All right, guys. I'm going to be getting off here. So thank you guys all for coming on. I appreciate it. But I will see you guys later. Thank you, guys.